She said stay here.
Island วันนี้มาเที่ยวอยู่แคสเซิลตกจะได้
Hey.
Hey man, is that you?
Just sneak for the little castle. Can go
น่าจะ
pee.
นอน
Why I can want to look.
empty front row
You ordered me to wait here. I was fine. I didn't create any problem. I directed us here perfectly.
Stone castle that was built here, so we'll talk a little bit about him as we go through the city later on today. And there was a couple of differences to what we have here today to the original defensive castle. First of all, it had no windows, and as you can see there's plenty of windows around the castle here today. What they had back then were known as arrow loops or arrow slits. These are windows that are shaped like this from the outside. Very difficult to get an arrow in, but on the inside you had a very wide angle of view and a fire with your bow and arrow. There's a few examples. You see where the grey pipe is over there. You see where the bird is at the top. You look left a few inches, you see the little slit window, and there's another one about 10 feet or so below. This is what you had all around the castle, and the whole idea was to fool your enemy and think you had more soldiers that often leave empty bows and arrows in some of the windows, and also let light into the castle as well. However, when muskets come in to being, you know the ones with the big round ends on them? They had to change the design. They had to widen those arrow loops, but they also changed the design. So if you see the crosses up at the very top, with the round ends, the round end was so you could put the head of the musket through, and then you could move it up and down and left and right, and then there was 4 areas to withdraw. That was the first major difference. The second major difference is the original castle also had 4 sides to it. And as you can see, there's only 3 remaining. The 4th wall went from that parade round tower here. So it would have been another tower over here to the left side. And this gravel area behind you was the site of the original main gate. The gate we're going to leave through later on did not exist until 1790, which is the same age as the building you just used the restaurant in across the street, which is the old stables of the castle. They started an archaeological dig a couple of years ago. They found a whole lot of structures underneath our feet here that they've yet to investigate. Where the hills off in the distance, they found the remnants of a village where stonemasons brought over from Wales were living when they were helping to build a castle. And underneath this gravel area here, they found the base of the 2 original round towers. Both of them had a basement, but only one of them had a stairs, and that's because the one without the stairs was the obulette or the obulate or the dungeon. So when it went in there, it went in through a hatch and you were never coming out again. It was known as the room to be forgotten in. And the distance between the 2 towers was only, I mean, bless you, 2 more seasons you're off the tour. Okay. The distance between the 2 towers was only 1.5 meters apart, and that was only one person on a horse could fit through at a time. So it was all about defense and protection. Would have had a port pallet, with those spiky gates you see in the old medieval movies, and also would have had a drawbridge here as well. And later on when you come out...
So what we do, like everybody on the guided tour, we get you to come over to this side. Downstairs, this is the more casual family room that they used to eat their dinner in themselves. Now it's called the tapestry room. I think you can see why. We have 2 tapestries hanging up here to my left-hand side. They are original to the Ormond collection on the bottom. This was the library, so if you had a meeting with the Earl of the Marquess, this is where you held the meeting. And the 3rd room was actually kind of the private room of the family, I suppose, really. It's known as the drawing room. Downstairs we have the big drawing room just for the ladies, but the drawing room is for both men and women. It's where they relax and kind of entertain their guests. And of course they probably would have played games, had live performances, probably had a few drinks in there as well. But again, which was still in quite a good condition before the restoration, and you were to open up these original 19th century mahogany doors, you were literally looking down onto that big marble table underneath your feet. There was no floor in this section, and if you were to look up, you would see the sky. So all the floors and ceilings above us had collapsed and caved in. Now, as I said, it's run by the OPW, and they done the first kind of meeting our region very quiet. It's the best kids I've ever had on my tour, I can tell you. Alright guys, so around the time of the first Duke of Ormond,
สูงที่สุดวันนี้one more floor.
One more.
But for now, guys, we're going to make our way down to the very end. We have 2 guest bedrooms and a little child's nursery as well.
Alright, finally come outside, everybody. Finally come outside on the temple.
Because they have to
On
schedule
the
lunch.
castle. This is West Town, Middle Town, East Town. พี่วางยังไงมาดิ
พี่หวังข้าวปูบ่าว
พี่ว่าอะไร
ไง
พี่ว่าอะไรนะพี่ว่าอะไรเจ้า ตบถ่ายหูมือกล้องโอ้นะไปเบิ่งตนาต่อเนาะพี่น้อง See you next castle.
The angled bit of stone here coming out of the bottom is what's known as a talus. This is a Latin word for the anchor. This is the anchor on the building. It serves a few purposes. First of all, it puts your enemy out of 10 or 15 feet, so your archers will have an angle on them. But also, if your enemy get in this close, cannons are no longer in use. So they would drop cannonballs from the top that hit the talus, and then the balls would shoot out and take the legs off people, just like medieval bowling. So strike like that, the other one. You also find this doorway, which is known as a Sally Port or a Sally Run. It uses the word Sally Air or Sally Egg, which is a quick escape. It's a double door system for protection. But the greatest threat is to make that longer than your enemy. You can be victorious. They would throw wasted to the moment.
คอยหิวน้ำคอยอยากกินน้ำคอยหิวน้ำคอยกะหิวข้าวคอยกะหิวน้ำคอยกะหิวเมื่อยเขากะเมื่อยคอยจิบรอดโอ้ยหัวตุ๊กอีเดน
ลูกเจ้าคือให้นางนางน้ำทิพย์ลูกเจ้าคือให้
พอมาถ่ายถ่ายในวิดีโออยู่พอมาถ่ายในวิดีโออยู่ขี่มาลูกมันเริ่มไม่รู้อย่างเลยไม่ดีเลย
We're in High Town, which later became known as English Town. At the other end of the city you have Low Town or Irish Town, and on the other side of the river is the Johnstown area, and this is where the train station is, and this is where people got the train to go to World War I and World War II on the continent and never came back. So many of the older generations still refer to it as the continent to this day. My mum is 68. Good job, okay. What's wrong? On the wrong end? No, I always use my mouth. Use it backwards, yes, okay. This will be the size of your head, okay, for this to work properly. Oh, goodness.
I think my head is bigger than that.
Yes. Okay, I don't think I have a big enough balloon. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I know loads of jokes, you laugh at the balloon fart. Great job. Okay. So what's going to happen, I'm going to tie a knot in the balloon. And then I'm going to take the needle back. And if the needle goes into the balloon without popping it, it means she's a witch. If it comes out the other side, what's known as a double witch. Ooh. Now the good news is for me is I get to go my separate ways. You're all stuck with her. Okay, may I take it back?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get you to step back a little bit. Anyone here afraid of loud bangs?
Yes.
Bang! You jumped a little bit over there, sorry about that. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Who's fiddling? Oh, Definitely a witch.
Single way.
Let's see. Don't tell anyone else though. Come out the other side. Double witch.
Double witch. Oh my
And sometimes
goodness.
people often ask me what kind of balloon this is. I always tell them it's a French balloon. You hear him whispering his name? It's Pierre. Pierre? Yeah, you got it. And look at her little innocent face. Look at that. We have to burn her at the stake for being a witch. Give her a round of applause.
Why don't have money like her?
Good job. Well, you're a witch. I'm not touching you. Good job. So, folks, there's just two final things.
Here we are. Another castle in the front of the castle.
ไม่ขอมาบักจะถ่ายแล้วนะ
น้ำทิพย์ This is built 18th century. The castle, the richest, the Butler family. Okay, everybody, this is the Butler family castle right here. Remember? Yeah.
Why are you calling me?
Oh, you're right. And these people is a fountain of castle. The old ancient building is made it and haven't disappeared yet. There's an old castle view right there. Right there. นางน้ำทิพย์ถ่ายให้พี่นั่นถ่ายไปแคสโซ่ไปตัว This is castle of Kilkenny Castle, the Butler family. The richest and the passed away already. ไปแล้วเจ้าของ
The downtown. Please tell me you don't have the air conditioning on. You don't.
I do. Yeah.
You do. God, it is bad. You can put a little heat on here and let it freeze back in. You're a darling. Thank you so much. I was in look, I have a wedding in July, early July.